welcome to the Laughing Monkey Music Show too. And Dave Mason, how are you? I
Good, good.
want to thank you for being on. Dave is on tour now. Has been playing for the late.
61 years.
Thank you. I was going to say, yeah, maybe 50. That's doing the math in my head
No,
for as
it's
long as I
60.
can remember.
I'll be 77 in the 10th of May. So I've been doing it since I was 16. So
77, dude, you look fantastic. I hope I look that good when I'm 56. Life is creeping up,
thank
man.
you.
But actually, what's really great is I think before we jump into the music part is you actually have a bus. You and your wife does yoga, so I think part of you are staying on top of things is probably the life that you lead, kind of a healthy, focused
Well,
lifestyle.
my wife does yoga. She teaches
Right.
it. I do yoga in my head.
Oh, you don't do any yoga? I would figure what your spouse does always rubs off on you.
Uh,
No,
no.
that's okay.
I
So,
go to, if I'm doing anything, I'm going to the gym. I'm lifting weights. So
well, you look great if you're 77. So let's talk. People that aren't aware, Dave has done like been in like we play with every massive musician from Paul McCartney, of course Hendrix. Um, your biggest actually your big song right now for you is "Feeling All Right," which you've written, everyone's covered, but it's like it's back again, like again and again. It's like the gift that keeps giving. And it always sounds fresh.
it
Like,
does. Well,
did you imagine it when
I
you wrote
always
it?
try to write when I consciously when I got into writing was tried to write things that were somewhat timeless. So that was usually my approach to a song.
Obviously, it works, but it feels fresh. I mean, and it's funny because like some songs sound like from a certain time period, but like that song in particular of yours totally feels like it's out there. Other songs of yours sound like it's from certain time periods, which is great because those are great time periods.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that song is just timeless. Um,
Yeah, good. I
and the
achieved
corn,
I
you
achieved my goal.
well, I mean, earlier on though, you were in Traffic, which another band I love, but you left pretty quickly, and the band didn't really exist much longer after you left. Do you think that's part of because you left? Do you think it was just the chemistry, or you guys were just all supernovas of talent that just it's
We were
just too
young.
much?
We were young and stupid. What can I say?
Well, no, I'm
it's
not
too
looking for
bad the
dirt.
it's too bad the youth is wasted on the.
I, now I get that finally. One day I'm like, oh, I get that now. I think when you get over 50, you kind of get that. Well, no, because there's just so much talent in that group, and you look back at some of the bands that had like really short album stints,
Mm.
and all the musicians that went off went off and did so many big things. Like it was just too much talent to be focused into one group. Like you know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think it would really so much to do with talent. It's just personal preferences.
Personal preferences.
You
You
know,
you
even marriages break up. It's just
yeah.
it's
Well,
it's you get all kinds of shit happens. So especially when you're younger.
right. How have you persevered through the years? Because obviously music has gone up and down and up and down,
Yeah.
but you've always kept going. And a lot of musicians wouldn't have lasted. Like you were 60s and 70s, you were great, and then like 80s got weird and got people in the 80s turned on musicians from the 70s. I mean, like you know what I'm saying, all of a sudden you're like not cool anymore, but like you've always, in fact, you were in the like in Fleetwood Mac. You've always just keep going.
Well, yeah.
Like like I don't know how you've just sidestepped everything. Like all the fads, you've just kept going.
Well, I just do me. I don't know how to do anybody else. So that's really all that's all it really is. I just stayed pretty much true to myself, pretty much, and uh, that's just what I've
That's
done.
good. No, it's a good answer. It's a fair answer.
I've pretty much, I mean, a lot of it I've kept there because of through mostly, I would probably think mostly live performances because we
Mhm.
always, I've always had a great band. There's the songs are there and the playing's there, and we go out and we play. We just don't go. I mean, the whole thing for us is we're really not, per se out there to entertain the people in the audience. We're out there to entertain ourselves. I mean, if we ain't, if somebody just doesn't throw something in one night that makes the whole band go, oh yeah, okay, then it's for us, it's a waste of time. I mean, that's the one place in life that we have that is just.
How much flexibility is there in the music as you've been touring for so long and the set list changing and
I
adding
don't
and
change the
changing?
set list too much. I'm pretty, I'm not a fast learner. I'm not, especially now. And I tend to, you know, I'm sure that there are songs that people want to hear, but I just can't. I mean, here's the thing essentially, I'm a guitar player. That's what I started out wanting to be. And I
Hmm.
got into singing because you had to do that when you had your first bands, otherwise, and you had to learn all the hits, whatever was happening at the
Yeah.
time, to get to get a gig at the local pub or wherever. So you had to learn to sing, and then the band Traffic started, and it was like, well, shit, what are we going to do? Because we really didn't know what we were going to do, frankly. So I thought, well, what I'm going to just let's start writing. I'll just start writing and see what happens. So they all sort of became steps, you know, the necessity is the mother of invention sort of thing. So
Well,
that's
work well.
kind of how I drifted into it. But when it comes to doing a set, we want to have fun when we're up there playing, okay, and
Hmm.
we love to play. So a lot of the songs, I mean, I don't vary a lot of stuff. Going to include the band a little more. I mean, I have some really Tony Patler on keyboards is a great singer. Johnny, who was with Firefall for a long time,
Yep.
and Ray's got his own little thing going on with Americana music. A great singer. So there's some really cool talent in the band. So I'm think there's certain songs that especially traffic stuff. I'm just got a mix up that I'm trying to put together from Santa Barbara with Tony singing rock and roll stew that
Nice.
I just put up and play back that I haven't heard in a while. And I'm like, oh shit, that's pretty good guitar playing on that too. So it's the band's kicking ass. So I'm going to kind of I like to put that into let them have take the songs that but you
Have some.
want to let them do it.
I think it's always a weird spot for an artist because you do it every night, so you want to make sure it's fun for you, but the audience
It
comes
has
out.
to be. It
They
has
want something, a little bit something. Otherwise, you won't have an audience at one point
Well,
because
I
they
mean, they're gonna, we just disagree, feeling all right. Only you know and I know. Then look at you, look at me, and Watchtower.
yeah.
you know, they're in the set, and they're always fun to play because there's plenty of room to play. That's the thing about it. I tend to err on the side of things that have some, instrumental section of it that give people a chance to stretch out because the solos are never, they might be basically the same, but they're never the same every night.
So a little you
If I
improvise a
play a
lot.
solo, it's going to be, I may start it the same, but it's never going to be exactly what I did the night before or the night before that.
So you are
So,
improvising a lot.
yeah, we do it a lot in band.
Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, there's no fun. It's not, you don't get that
Right.
energy. You don't get that thing. It has to be authentic. I mean, and if you can, if you can generate, something authenticity in what you're doing, then people pick that up at any age, whether they're kids, whether they're old or what, it doesn't matter. If it's coming over that way, you get it.
I think it's exciting because you never know. Because I mean, that's what a live music is, and that's that kind of controversy. A lot of bands now, and even some of the older bands that didn't do it are doing like tapes, and it's all a big controversy now. There's not a lot of bands that are doing live music, and that's one thing why we're talking. I want to encourage people that haven't gone and seen you and are aware of
Yeah,
you.
I mean,
Like, no, there aren't a lot of artists that will go on and do it 100% live. You get what you get, and if they mess up or they do something that's dangerous, you're improvising. It's fun. It's a challenge. That's the danger, the excitement of being in rock and roll.
Yeah.
So that, but not everybody does that, and I don't go against every artist should do what they want. But me asking you, I like that. So to me, I find that exciting to watch because it's like I know you have the skill set. I know what you sound like on the record, but what are you going to come up with tonight off the top of your head? You know what I mean? That's exciting. You know?
Yeah. Well, I have to leave room in it for us to do that. Otherwise, it's just it's not. I mean, we spend it. Like I said, we're not getting paid for standing up there and doing that music. We're getting paid to leave the house, is what we're
Right.
getting paid for. And go, we're getting
Yeah.
spent for all that. We're getting spent paid for all that time in between that hour and a half, 2 hours. We do that. That's,
Space between the notes.
yeah, it's
Well,
between the notes.
I think it's great, but also, I mean, but after all these years, do you have to warm? Do you like warm up though? Like it's always interesting, like a guitar player at this point.
I never have. I mean, I don't
You
really practice that much. I noodle around a lot, but you know,
Which some people, it's like some artists will take guitar players and be like, I get off tour, I put my guitar in the corner of the room, I don't touch it till like 3 days before tour again. And some guitar players are like, I play it every day when I get home from tour. So it's just interesting the perspective that how each person approaches the instrument because everyone's brilliant on it that you have this talk with. It's just how it relates to them in their
yeah, yeah,
journey.
yeah, yeah.
Some people are never with it. Some people are always with it. Are you still writing though with it? Like even though you're not it's not the
Not
big
really, not that much. I mean, I don't put out new stuff because that's a whole other conversation.
right, but sometimes an artist still writes stuff. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes
Nobody
stuff comes in
really
your head.
wants to talk about, so I don't really go there with it. It's the writing aspect. I mean, it's sort of become an exercise in futility. I
Some
mean,
people still just enjoy it.
I've got a new thing that I put together because I'm doing it because I want to do it, and which is basically sort of a blues based um, collection
Yeah.
of songs, and there's a couple of originals in there, some covers, and then there's I just redid Dear Mr. Fantasy and Low Spark, which I do on stage anyway, but I just put Joe Bonamassa in there. So me and Joe are doing Fantasy and Low Spark. It's killer. I mean, he's
Is it?
awesome.
He's great.
He's
Do you ever?
awesome. Version of
He,
Fantasy is really cool.
I'll have to check it out. I mean, he is ridiculous.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm
Do you
going
ever
to put that out in the next couple of months. It'll be coming out.
excellent? Are you gonna put out like on your website, like a single, or just like as a
No, this
special
coming
thing?
out. It's coming out through Joe's label.
Okay. Because nowadays, as an artist, you can do anything. You can record in your studio some fun stuff that you enjoy, and just put it up on your site for the fans, and not have to do the hubbub just to do fun stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well, we do that. I mean, I have old board tapes and shit that we throw up there sometimes.
Yeah, people like that. If it's a good
Yeah.
mix, people do love that. At this rate of touring, do you feel you're going to slow down at all? I mean, it's pretty incredible. You're so good. You're so.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure. Yeah. I mean, probably next couple of years. I don't know.
I ask because there's peers that are 20 years younger than you that are announcing their final tour now. 23 after
On the,
COVID, it kind of changed
I'm
things for
on the
people.
endangered. My tour is the Endangered Species Tour. That's what it's called.
I
Okay.
love that. I love that name. Yeah, that you got the great artwork with it. It's all black and white, and the red pops out, and it's beautiful. But it's a great name. But it's the truth though, because a lot of artists are retiring. That's why I asked. If you see the goalpost for just stone down with it, because touring it's rough. You know,
Yeah.
for some people. I mean, I know you have your own.
Oh no, you gotta be. You have to. You have to have you know, the aptitude, the temperament for it.
But you have your own bus, though, right? Is that what I read? That you have your
Yeah.
own bus?
Yeah.
How did that come about? That's pretty brilliant, actually, to make it more economical on the road.
Well, it wasn't a question of that. It's a question of comfort at my age.
Yeah,
You know,
which is also
I,
good. It's probably more.
flying is a pain in the ass. It
I
used to
could.
be it used to be great. It's a
Well,
pain in the
nowadays it's gotten worse, right? And then
well,
everybody being sick.
it's one of the few things where the machinery got better and the service got worse.
Yeah. Well, now, but I mean, people are sick and everything's crazy out there. Now the bus is better. And I know after COVID, a lot of artists, because everybody had to go out and tour again, there's a shortage of all kinds of like buses and stuff for touring. You didn't have that problem. You had your own
I've had
bus,
a bus. I've had a bus for the last 8, 9, 10 years. So
which is great. You're ahead of the curve. I would imagine other artists are going to start doing that haven't done it
well,
or
they've
something
been doing
similar.
it forever since the early days of country music. Yeah, that's nothing new.
Not a lot of rock and rollers do it though. I kind of put you in the rock and roll mixer category.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot of rock and rollers that do.
oh
Most
yeah,
tours are on
the own
buses.
it, the own it. Okay,
Oh, there's a lot of guys that own their own buses.
okay. That I was not aware of. I know a lot of country guys do. I always thought that was smart. It just makes sense to have your home. You know, if you have your health and your rest, you're a better performer.
Yeah,
Less time off. You're not sick. You've got your peace of mind. You're not going to get burned out. It's just it's actually better economics too. You
oh
know,
yeah, no, it just where it. I couldn't have kept doing. I couldn't do it at this age if I didn't have it.
at this point, is there any place you haven't toured yet that you want to tour that you haven't been able to? I mean, you pretty much
Australia,
you haven't been there yet at all.
no,
Really? Well,
no.
I was just talking to a musician today, and they just said it doesn't matter who you are. When you go to Australia, you're like, it's Australia. I was like the best place to tour, I guess.
Yeah,
I
no,
don't
I've
know
never
why.
been.
That'll be one of your on your put that on your tour list there. You can't take your bus though.
On the bucket list.
Yeah, right. So how long is this tour going on? I know I got actually I can put the date in front of me here. Had the
We're
thing in
kind
front
of
of me.
we're kind of out till the end of July with a
July.
but we'll be out there, but there's about a 10-day break in there.
Yeah, I see July 31st in Boulder. Is that gonna be the last one? Or are you gonna add to that?
I'm not sure. It might Salt Lake might add to it.
Okay.
Grand Junction. I'm not sure.
I mean, this is a great website. I just want to wrap it up. I just want to pick your brain today a little bit, and but I want to end by talking about a little bit your website. Some websites are like ghost towns of no information,
Oh,
and I want people need to go to davemason.com because the official site you talk about your history, so people that aren't 100% aware about your solo stuff. It talks about the work you've done with other artists. It's nice. It's clean. It's got all your tour dates. It's got everything in it. Merch, everything else. One of the questions I had for you, and I always hear, and obviously you played with Hendrix. People who talk about Hendrix, like what it would be now. What do you think would have happened if Hendrix had lived longer as an artist and progressed through the years?
I don't know. I he prior to him passing away. I believe he was talking about doing something with Miles Davis.
That would have been pretty interesting because some artists like after a couple of artists they would have burned out or gone off to the country and been like, you know what, the music business is just lame. They just wanted to be alone or whatever, or you just keep getting innovative until it's just you burn out. I mean, he was a shooting star, so
Yeah,
yeah. How did
yeah.
you end up working with him for that for the with
Uh,
him?
we just met up in a club, started up a conversation. He was a fan of Traffic, and sort of went from there. But all that stuff and all those stories,
Yep.
there should be a book coming out, hopefully before the end of the year.
Oh, that's even
So,
better news.
so yeah,
All
only
right.
sort of
Well, then we'll save the story for it because I
yeah,
think there's like a lot of things that I feel like there's like a lot of stories and a lot of artists you did. There's got to be a plethora of stories and excitement. You've worked with almost like all my favorite artists. You've on these albums, and you're one of my favorite artists with stuff you've created, and your playing and your voice. For somebody who's not considered yourself a singer, you're quite a singer. We
oh,
didn't plan on being a singer. You're quite a singer. You know. Um, but I want to encourage people to check out your website, check you out, and you're everywhere. Yep.
DaveMasonMusic.com.
I'm sorry. Yep. It is the best.
Somebody
The
else.
link. I will put the link though underneath the show on YouTube and on the podcast. So people
Okay,
click
cool.
on the link, they'll go right to the right place and check it out. And
Absolutely.
people need to get your tickets early for the shows because tickets are going fast, like hotcakes there. But I want to thank you for being on the show. This has been fantastic to have you on. Thank you very
Yeah,
much.
well, thank you. My pleasure.